Hey guys, welcome back to Creative Piano Academy with me, Joseph Sikora, and this is video 2 in a 3-part series I've put together for you to try and give you the tools that you need to just sit and play the piano. So after these 3 videos, you're going to have everything you need to just sit and play the piano. So in part 1, we went over how to take the right hand and play 2 chords and move between them, okay? We had C major and C sus4, sounded like this. So by now you should have the ability to basically move between those 2 chords pretty confidently, okay? This video is all about using the sustain pedal. We're going to sync up and coordinate using the foot and the right hand to get those blending really nicely into each other. So let's get going. Okay, so I've mentioned this in a previous video, but using the sustain pedal can just instantly make you sound so much more professional. It instantly adds that magical touch to your playing, and it blends everything together, and it can sound really nice and really professional. So what I want you to do first is just get used to how that sounds. So let's get our right hand, we'll place it on the C major chord like this, and I want you to just play that chord just like we did from video 1. And then just put the foot pedal down and see what that sounds like. So see how they blended together. Then we'll bring it up. Hear the difference? Down. Up. Okay. So I want you to practice that. I want you to just get used to how it sounds. So just play around with putting your foot down and bringing your foot up. Try and do it on every 4. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit now about how we count in music, because this is going to be really important for the next point. We're going to count in 4 for this particular exercise. Every single time we count to 4, that's called a bar. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. See how we're resetting back to 1. Every single time we count to 4, that's a bar. So just briefly going back to video 1, this exercise we were doing would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 bar, then the second bar, and a third bar, and a 4th bar, etc. Okay, so bearing that in mind, what I want to tell you about now is a common mistake that I see my students make and how you can fix it. So when we're going to change between these chords, I'm going to bring the second chord in now just to demonstrate this. We're going to put our foot down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when we change chord, it's tempting to bring our foot up before we play the next note and then put it down at the same time as our right hand, like that. Okay, now this is the problem. This is what it sounds like. See how we've got that gap? We don't want that gap. At least we don't in this exercise. So what I want you to think about is instead of coming down on the 1 of the bar, I want you to think of coming up on the bar and going straight back down. So I'll break this down for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when I change, my wrist comes down, my foot comes up, then my foot goes back down again. And you see how it anchors the chord. Okay? The difference okay, that's a really important thing to bear in mind. So let's go back to the exercise we were doing. We've got C major, and then I want you to change to the C sus4 and bring the foot pedal up at the same time as you bring your wrist down for the first strike of the C sus4 chord. So slowly. See that? So that's your next exercise. Okay, so once you've got used to that, we need to bring the foot pedal back down. So we get this. Okay, so I'll do that again. Foot pedal down, 1, 2, 3, 4, then I change, my foot pedal comes up, straight back down, up, down, up, down. Okay? So another thing I want you to bear in mind, this might be happening. Okay? If you find that that's happening, the reason is when we change chords, we want to anchor this chord down just long enough for our foot to come back down and hold those notes on, then we can carry on bouncing. So we get bounce, 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 hold, bounce, 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 hold, bounce, bounce, bounce. And when you get better at this, you'll naturally just hold the chord down long enough for your pedal to do its job. Okay, so just to recap on this, your exercises I want you to start with. C major, pedal down, 1, 2, 3, 4, bring it up. Down, up. Exercise 2, we're going to bring in the C sus4 chord. So, here, down, up, down, up. And then we're going to try and anchor that C sus4 chord and create a loop of it all, okay? So we get this. And keep practicing that. Speed it up, slow it down. Try and just get used to how that feels. Now, at first you might find it's quite complicated and you're finding it quite difficult to coordinate your foot with your hand, but just keep persevering with it. Just take short breaks when you're doing it. So do it for about 5 minutes, take a little break, do it for another 5 minutes, take a break. Just give yourself a chance to digest what you're doing, because essentially you're trying to learn to ride a bike. You're learning how to swim, you're learning a new skill which requires you to actively coordinate things you're not used to coordinating. So don't be too hard on yourself, just keep practicing it until you get to something like this. Really nice and almost effortless, that's what we want. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I hope you're doing plenty of practice. If you're still struggling with part 1, then feel free, just go back to part 1, make sure you've got that under your belt first, then bring in part 2. But essentially, before you watch part 3, I want you to try and make sure that you've got your right hand and your foot really nicely working together and it feels effortless. Remember, no tension. Nice arc in the wrist, okay? Make sure you keep those fundamentals going. So if you look down below this video, you'll see all my links to social media, as well as a download to an aid sheet I've done for you. You can print it off, stick it up on the piano. All I ask for is your email address, but that goes through everything step by step, so it's really helpful for you. Okay guys, I'll see you in part 3, where we're going to bring in the left hand and turn everything we've been doing into a piece of music. So I hope you really enjoyed part 3. This is what you've been working towards, okay? So I'll see you then.